The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Arrakis, found out beyond, near the very edge of the Imperium. It is the sole source of the spice melange. The once nothing Canopus sector has been thrust onto the main stage. The spice has made fold space technology possible, with the Butlerian jihad over and the distrust of thinking machines still lingering on the mouths of every Imperial citizen. This is a godsend, a blessing of the highest order. House Moritani was gifted fiefdom control over the planet once, but the current emperor has stripped the house of its former glory, choosing instead to raise up House Galloway. Some of the houses of the Landsraad have quietly disputed the new choice, and though smiles are ever present around the emperor, behind his back, a plot has been set in motion that will test not just the position of this newly raised house, but the allies and enemies they've made along their climb. This is a story of intrigue. This is a story of sacrifice. This is the story of Dune.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Dune, Blood-Soaked Sands.
I love that every episode now is just you getting that right. That is, it warms the cockles of my heart. But hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dune, Blood-Soaked Sands. I am the Ravnos Archon. As always, it is an honor and a privilege to be at this table. And before we do our little recap and hit the ground running, let's let everybody introduce themselves and their characters.
Hello, everyone. I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and you can find me on socials at Relindare, and I am playing Reverend Mother Eovius Della Alison.
Hi, I'm Junior Vantage, pretty much everywhere because I live on the internet. It makes it easier. I'm playing Data.
Hello, I'm Alexion Star all over the internet, and I am playing Antares Valeria, the aristocrat who has a lot on his plate right now.
As always, I am Shanky McStabber, totally not sus Mintat, Hakeem Dujen, who just happens to, for some goddamn reason, have assassins everywhere we go looking for him.
You know, it's one of those things. Some people wake up in the morning and they get coffee. Some people wake up in the morning and have to dodge assassins.
Hashtag not my fault.
It is not your fault. It's his own fault. And we'll find out today. We'll find out today why it's his own fault. But we opened up with everybody coming back together from Thara's mother's funeral. We saw her and Hakeem step aside. They discussed the differences in their methodology. They got to talking about the spice and how that is the most important thing to the off-worlders. Then everything was interrupted with word of activity in Thera's Siege. Everybody made their way over there. They got separated from Rena as she went deeper into Fremen culture to find out who she is and where she comes from. Hakeem and the Reverend Mother spoke about the trap to come and how they had to be prepared for that and turn the tables. And with one good use of momentum, Hakeem did find a blind spot in the siege to arrive. We got to see a tendril of smoke as it seemed that something had happened at the siege before they got there. And as they crawled in through one of the side tunnels, they noticed some embryonic fluid, some shattered glass, and what might have been birthing pods for some golas, which are fearsome creatures that are golem-like undead that have been reanimated. They saw Thara's father fighting off two of these Fremen Gola. And after defeating them, they had a moment, and then her father revealed himself to be actually Piara June, the face dancer, after it was revealed that Hakeem was with them. And in a brilliant display of usage of the word, Piara was outdone by a Reverend Mother who is much stronger than somebody that never finished the sisterhood, and had her face blown clean off. Hakeem brought up talking to the guild directly, having Thara be the go-between the Fremen and the guild, and to move the families into the deep desert and only show their warriors in the sieges, so that there could be no definitive number as to how many Fremen exist on Arrakis, setting the truth into motion that we come to know during Paul Atreides' time. Hakeem and Antares left a message on the wall for whoever was following them. Antares was more concerned with getting Juma to set up a group of whoever was loyal to him and his father, to set aside themselves and to get in contact with him. Hakeem was more about letting them know, whoever was after them, that they have failed and they have continued to fail to stop them. And we left off with the group emerging from their hidey hole as the Valerian soldiers left. So I asked the group, with all of these avenues that you and all these doors that you've closed, what is your next course of action? How do you want to move forward?
I think Thera's going to try and get them back to the siege and see if they've already moved past into the desert, and then take them further in if she's got to. And have a talk with Mama Reverend.
Yeah. Antares needs time right now, so he needs to find a place to lay low and give Juma to get up with Brenna, and they need time now, basically.
Anything from House Galloway's Reverend Mother or Mentat?
I was fixing my audio. I somehow screwed up my audio for a second there. It's always great. They will expect us to go back to the siege.
Then do you want me to just go ahead and take you deeper into the desert?
We could do that. Or, since we're here anyway, we could
Start sabotaging some shit.
and do reconnaissance on the city.
I will remind you that you do have a crashed ornithopter outside the siege. So you do have access to technology.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. There are a couple places here that you guys can make as your own for now, since I'm the only one left here in the siege. I'm Nihab.
So you're aware, I can walk the city and not be recognized. My hood on this will change my face, as you may have seen on the worm when we rode out here.
Yes. Technology I do not understand yet. Good. All right. That is a list on our assets. Great. What else? I'm going to have to bury the dead on my own. Unless you guys know or want to help. It's no salvaging the water. I might as well get rid and clean things up.
Hakeem, examine the ornithopter.
I was going to examine the ornithopter and see if it's fixable, flyable.
Antares, join him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will assist you. Thar.
Okay. I won't do the whole rights and such.
So
Too late now.
I'm going to have to use, let me think of what I'm going to use on that one to examine it.
I'll save you the trouble.
Okay.
As you start to walk into the crashed ornithopter, you see that there are signs of combat. Last pistol was fired inside. There is some blood, and it looks like some shard was used to impale somebody. And as you come up to the console, there's a brief moment where it scans you, a name appears, and then is immediately erased and replaced with your name. And everything starts to light up as it accepts you as its user.
Well, that's not concerning. I'm going to immediately break the communications radar antenna off it.
Is the name
easy
that
enough.
appeared before his any relevance and have any relevance?
That you can roll for.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be an understand roll.
Okay.
And I could see truth or power.
Truth,
Since
probably.
either one of those will give you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be a target number of 12. It's going to be a difficulty of 3, just so you're aware.
Okay. We don't have momentum, right?
You have 1 point of momentum that could buy you a 3rd die.
Okay. Could my focus on house politics be relevant for that?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to spend that momentum then.
Okay.
And pray. 10, 2, and 15.
Okay. So 2 successes. It isn't a name that you're familiar with, but you did get at least the letters of its. The first letter of the first name and the first letter of the last name are A and B, respectively.
I want to look it over, the whole thing. I want to make sure there's no hidden devices, hidden tracking devices, or alternative communication gear that will report who's flying this thing when it lifts off the ground.
There is none of that. There is only a log that looks to have been left open. And there is what looks to be not a seat, but a place for a canister to go.
Then I guess I'm going to deductive reasoning that to figure out. I'm trying to generate us some momentum, so I'm going to roll something here. Deductive reasoning.
I like that.
So that's understand. Truth just sounds too easy to use for that one.
I could see it being power, faith, or duty.
Yeah, I'll go duty.
Okay.
Understand and duty.
Okay.
That gives me a 13. Oh, not the yellow die. I don't like that die. It don't like to roll well for me. I got 1.
Okay. You want to bank it or do you want to obtain information?
I'm going to bank it. I'll just take whatever default information I get from looking at it to figure out what it looked like.
It looks like this was not piloted by a person actively piloting, but rather passively piloting. It looks like the canister here contained somebody in a stasis. So whereas the body was held in stasis, the mind was allowed to kind of observe and fly the machine.
We got 1 whole momentum. I'll file it away. And while we're looking over this, I guess we'll let Thara and the Reverend Mother have their scene while we're looking.
Okay. So we switch over to inside the rock formation. How is Junie? How's Thara leading this makeshift funeral rite?
She's just gonna go one body after another right into whatever she can salvage. She's to be honorable and respectful, of course, but
Mhm.
no long humming, no long. She'll do like a hum constantly, but just one, almost like she is systematically doing this to get it done.
Okay.
The
That's the only
Reverend
one
Mother
she.
will be imitating the hum to do it along with her.
She'll do her father last.
Okay. Are you taking them out of the siege and burying them in the sand, or are you taking them to where they would be going as far as the funeral rites are concerned for like the reformation of water and all that?
She would attempt to do that to see whatever she can get, whatever she can collect. If it's not even worth it, she'll do a makeshift, just straight down into the sand if she has to.
Okay. Going through the process and having to teach the Reverend Mother takes a while, especially with the amount of bodies that are there. But you do manage to get 2 back jugs worth of reclaimed water. So you have that as backup. I would assume that let me not assume, is there a pause when you get to your father? Is there more reverence? Is there a deliberate kind of slowness to his?
There is a reverence to it. She'll take his ring too, put it on her other hand, and then slowly say a couple of words. Nothing too long, just a few seconds. Put him through, because she's of the mindset she can't mourn him yet. There's too much to do. So she's going to do what she can to say her goodbyes for the moment and then do something later.
Okay. How is Della handling all of this? Because your study of people's movements, gestures, the simplest of hesitation speaks volumes to you. What is this teaching you about Thera?
It is teaching me that the Fremen have very unified family dynamics. It is teaching me that Fremen truly love their children and their children love their parents. That is very unlike the situation that she was in. But it is informing her more of this culture. And there is a small part of the Reverend Mother that feels a little bit of empathy for her. She knows that Thora has suffered grievous losses. And no matter how stoic the warrior is, she carries her pain.
There is a moment as she starts to get to work on her father that Thera looks to be more meticulous, more revered in her maneuvers. And to you, you hear what would be a siege full of humming. You can hear the ghosts of the Fremen that were, the Fremen that will be. And there's a moment where you see a specter. It is the other memory, and it isn't. It's a schism. And you see a young man, maybe about Antares's age, young, youthful, and his hand kind of glides over the table with the same kind of reverence that Thera is paying attention to her father with. And he looks at you like he can see you. And there's a moment where he just kind of nods and leans forward, pushing his weight onto the slab. And with a very serene voice, but a cacophony of voices, and not just his, it's not just his father, and it's not just his mother, and it's not the sisters that have been used to get to him, but you hear him plain as day over the hum. Sleeper is stirring. The dream is in danger. And he vanishes.
The Reverend Mother maintains her composure and her silence, while Thara handles her rituals.
Okay. And as you're starting to finish up and you get the last of the water outside at the ornithopter, it's been some time. You've caught glimpses, little audible whispers on the wind of the humming of the work that's being done inside. And after a moment, you hear sand shifting outside the ornithopter, and you hear coughing. It is neither the Reverend Mother or Thara's voice. It is much gravelier, much more masculine.
And Tyrus will just look through the window and try to see if he can catch a glimpse without being seen.
I'm
It's
going
not too
to
difficult.
flip up my Sibis hood
Okay.
so that I'm not Hakeem Dujin sitting in this damn thing.
Yeah. And coming in, holding his side and bleeding slightly through bandages, Hakeem recognizes Aguri Biles. Antares, however, is caught in an interesting predicament because Hakeem has always seen Aguri Biles for who he is, but you get to see him through unclouded eyes. And Aguri Biles looks like an older, weathered Hakeem.
Okay.
And
Antares will get closer to Hakeem. And
Don't look like Hakeem anymore, though.
oh,
I'm
I'm still there, but I
Yeah.
look like nondescript person.
Yeah.
oh, because you have a hold over your face. Yeah.
And Aguri just holds up his one hand to show you that he's not armed. At least in that hand, his other hand is still kind of drenched in blood and holding his side. I assure you, I do not mean you any harm, Hakeem. If I wanted to kill you, I could have done so from the desert. There's no need for that.
I'm going to pull my Maula pistol and step out of the ornithopter with it pointed at him.
Okay.
I am going to stay like on the door, like leaned against the wall, close to the door. So if he does something, I can jump and I can get a jump at him.
Gotcha. And he smiles as you step out with a pistol drawn on him. He's just like, I can only assume that since you are alive, that you have killed Piara June.
I did not, but she is dead.
Good.
You seem to have fallen on some troubles.
Some is an understatement, Keen.
What's the matter? Rear Talk decides your usefulness to him is done.
Our usefulness, yes, unfortunately.
But don't include me in that. I'm still deciding the benefits to killing you. It's a calculation that you've taught me well.
Yes. If I may, I have some information that you might need to hear to perhaps sway you in one direction or the other.
No. I always like to have additional data. Speak before I grow tired and pull the trigger.
Would you like to have your entire group here, or should I just share this with the boy and you?
And Terry's. Go grab the Reverend Mother. If Thara wishes to continue her funeral rite, that is fine. I'd like the Reverend Mother here to hear from him.
Are you sure you want to be alone with him?
If he moves, I'm going to shoot him.
I assure you, boy, I do not mean any harm on this man.
He is right about one thing. He could have shot us before revealing himself.
I'm gonna show.
But I am curious how he will react when he's got a truth-sayer listening.
I have
I'm
nothing
gonna
to hide
sheath
anymore.
He's gonna sheath his sword and go to where Thara but he will go running. He wants to go. He wants to be back really
Yeah.
fast.
The Reverend
Ah.
Mother is currently, now that Thara is completed, before we are going to put June in the sand, is searching her body.
The remnant of the burnt husk has very little. There is.
Just in case something survived.
It does look like her pockets have already been rifled.
By the people that came in.
Maybe. But you do remember that Hakeem was near her body while it burned.
True. Okay. I look at Thara. We can dump her now.
Good. Good. I'm done with this trash.
And
She'll
you
just
see,
unceremoniously.
yeah. And as you do that, Antares comes rushing in.
What is
Oh,
it?
good.
We need to go back. Do I know the name of the person?
You do not.
There is somebody with Hakim that looks like him, like an older brother, or maybe his father, I don't know, but he seems to be very antagonistic to him, and we probably should check up on the situation there.
How many more face dancers do you have?
Yeah, he's holding him at gunpoint, so we probably should hurry.
All right. She'll just pull her sword out and get ready.
Yeah. And as you emerge from the siege, you see at the base of the ornithopter, the ramp is down. Hakeem, your Hakeem, on one side, Mala pistol drawn and pointed at an older, weathered version of Hakeem, who is holding his side with his left hand, blood seeping out of bandages, and his right hand is up to show that he does not have a weapon. He is not armed.
And the pistol's a very nice pistol because I've upgraded the quality. It's a well-made, it's intricately designed.
This time the Reverend Mother comes behind the other two. And then she locks eyes on this. Does she know this person?
Not at all.
Okay.
But he seems to understand who you are, what you are, and you see him bow with a reverence to the position.
I introduce you all to Master Aguri Biles. one who trained me. Part of my training. But he is also a master of the face dancers. Though by the look of him, I should use the term ex-master? Fallen master?
Nods.
And why does he look like you?
He doesn't.
If
I
we are
look to
be-
Thera and the mother.
if we are to be technical in the situation, Hakim looks like me.
We look nothing alike.
This is unfortunately how you have been programmed.
Choose your words carefully. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to shoot you or not.
Why am I standing here? Speak now.
Oh, I see now.
I understand what you have been through, and I apologize.
You know nothing of what I've been through.
Not you. You as a group, I know that you have suffered, and unfortunately, I had some hand in that, but as such, I have felt the error of my ways. As
You mean you were betrayed?
You could look at it that way, yes, sure.
Well, that is what it is.
I am going to roll to suss out his lies.
Sure.
And Antares will ask, what's your involvement in all this?
I'm going to use communicate with my focus in neurolinguistics
Okay.
and duty.
Okay, so you think it's duty over truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you're doing this more for the protection of the house than for sussing anything out for personal.
And also the protection of my faction. Because I know where the Twisted Mentat come from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that is 2 crits.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So you have 4 successes. It's nothing more difficult than a difficulty 2, so that gives you 2
I'll
to
bank the other 2.
Yep. Or use. So you've got 3 momentum now in the pool.
Y'all are welcome.
We're
Thanks.
working on it slowly.
He has so far not done anything to give you any reason to doubt him. And given the truth that Hakim has given you that he is part of the Tleilaxu, and not only that, but a master trainer of face dancers, this is not the same that you're getting, the same thing, same vibe that you got from Piara. This is him.
I'm going to keep observing using those 2 crits so that if something seems off, I'll recognize.
I will let you know when
Thank you.
something is off.
So it is a power play that you have lost. Politics.
Antares asked him what was his involvement in everything that happened.
I came to Arrakis to prepare for the transition of power. House Galloway has made some very powerful enemies because of one man's indiscretions. I assume you all know the truth of Barand at this point.
Yes.
The Emperor does not take kindly to being used, and so my faction was called in. However, as things became more and more clear to me, I learned some things that I was not privy to, and that I should not have gone looking into. Among them is the, I would not like to say cult in your presence, Reverend Mother, but I believe that there is a splinter group amongst your sisters that are trying to create the perfect human. We got word of that some time ago, and not to be outdone and to win the race, the Tleilax took to cutting corners. There is, in the far reaches of the cosmos of the Imperium, remnants of the old jihad still lingering about. One such trinket is the remains of one Simek that the Tleilaxu have treasured for some time, and that has helped us push the electronic envelope. There was a program initiated to try to beat the sisterhood to this perfect human. From the first generation of clones, there was one survivor. From the second generation of clones, there were 3. This third generation is proving to be resilient. Perhaps we could see 6 or more fertile and viable fetuses growing into humans. We have used something that we should not have, and this is why I was attacked, and why I chose to hide out in the desert until I saw you emerge from the siege. We have the brain matter of the one and only Barbarossa.
And you were
Who's that?
cloning?
Does that
Are you
does
were
that name
using
say
that?
anything to me?
You could roll to see if you understand the meaning of the name.
Who can roll?
You can, Antares, because you
Okay.
might have grown up with the stories.
Mhm.
I'm going to roll for that too.
Sure. It'll be a discipline roll
Okay.
for both of you. What would you like to pair it with?
I'll pair it with truth.
This may could this be duty?
I would see truth or faith more than
Faith.
duty.
Then truth.
Yep.
Okay.
I got 1 too.
15 and a 1.
Okay. So all you need is 1 success. So Della got it. Antares, you got 2 over because of your crit. So you do have 1 left over. Do you want to bank it or use it for obtaining
I'm gonna
information?
bank it.
You got it. And just like that, you're up to 4. Um,
I'm assuming
Hakeem-
I would have a general idea.
yeah, Hakeem doesn't need to roll.
Yeah.
The 2 Imperial citizens, however, remember that during the Butlerian Jihad, when Omnius grew to power, he grew to power because he took over the Simex that housed the old Titans, the humans that first created the Simex to extend their lives. The first one to undergo the process was Barbarossa. And quite literally, the humanity's best tactician and worst enemy given the Butlerian Jihad.
Oh.
You are using his brain. You are cloning from his brain.
That is what the Tleilaxu tried to do, yes.
Who is this and how important is he?
That you don't understand. I know you like to push the edge, skirt the prohibitions. But there is a
Let's
limit.
just say he was a Antares will look at Terra. Let's just say he was a pretty powerful person.
He almost got our entire species killed.
He was an
Naguri nods.
abomination.
Yes.
Naguri nods. This is why when I discovered this, I immediately went to work to try to stop what was going on here on Arrakis. I was trying to find the siege that you were hiding at so I could get to you, so that together we could try to stand against the threat that Gandalf represents.
Are you the one responsible for my parents' death?
No.
Are you
And-
indirectly?
And Della does notice that there is a twinge.
Oh,
You do know when
That's a lie.
She put the sword right to his chest. Don't lie.
I did not give the order, but I did know it was happening.
Then you were a direct part of it. If you weren't the hand that blew it, you knew and did not stop it.
Doing nothing is complicity.
He wouldn't stop it. Remember what I said.
I know. I remember. But this
No.
is Fremen law. You are on my siege.
There is no offense here, but you are savages to us. There is.
You are the savages. We would never waste water that was not needed. You never talked to us. True?
Does the boot talk to the ant?
Yes. Hello, Aunt. I am the boot. You would never survive here. How do you know how to handle this?
He looks down at his wound. That is more truth in your statement than you even understand.
Good. I'm open for education, apparently.
There
Yes.
are
There
three
are.
survivors of the second generation. And in our hubris, we used shorthand to denote which ones of the mentat we had used the cloning process on. If you haven't figured it out by now, we used do for the shorthand of 2 and gen for generation. I am the only survivor of the first generation. Keen is one of the 3. This is why we are in the crosshairs, as you say.
You don't even know the half of it. Oh, you don't understand.
So, Keen, what am I going to do?
One question that is pertinent to that. How useful can you be to get us out of this planet?
No. Leaving the planet will make it worse right now.
It does
Okay.
not. It does not help my position, given that I am standing facing 2 weapons. But wherever I could go, Hakim could go. We share an almost identical bioscan. There are a handful of transports that were buried when the Mauritani took control of Arakin. They are transports for the Gola that they wanted to use in fighting the Fremen. So that could get you off road.
If we leave the planet, we will be in the midst of all the other people. Anyone will be a face dancer. Hell, everyone will be a face dancer for our we concerned. As long as we're on the planet, at least we can see who's around us. Do you really think you would be safe off planet now? Do you think anywhere? Do you think the Bene Telex cannot buy the guild? As soon as we were on a ship, they would turn us over.
No, but we need to buy the guild, and we need to buy the guild now.
I had no intentions of leaving the planet. I did want your help in releasing the Gola.
You do know, of course, you could have saved yourself a lot of time had you not unleashed that bitch on me when I went to meet you.
Unfortunately, I had to hold up appearances. Gandalf could not know that I was digging.
Yeah, you could have done and talked to me. My father and the Nehab could have helped you. But you've killed everyone in my siege, and all you have is me.
This is why I came here. Unfortunately, Piara had beaten me to the proverbial punch. I am not at the age where I can face a face dancer anymore.
So, my question. Do you have the same flaw I do?
There is a tinge when he says that he can't face a face dancer.
Do you have the same flaw I do?
Of course, this is why we have used Barbarossa's biometrics, the brain matter.
As leader of the siege, I'm going to let the Sayadina Reverend Mother and again judge upon you. And I will then wait my own words, because you stand on my words. You live or die, period.
He nods.
I'm going to shoot him with my pistol, because the dart is loaded with the Verite truth serum I got from the spy master.
Okay. It hits him dead core, and he kind of looks down at it.
Truth serum.
Here, I thought that you had a killer in you, Hakeem.
I do. But I prefer the blade. You know that.
It's much more intimate.
So now you have some.
You want us to underestimate you.
He needs me to underestimate him and allow him in as protection. Am I
Taking down
understanding
that
this
face
correct?
dancer was no challenge.
How many clones of her do they have?
They are in the beginning stages of the 4th generation.
How many?
There are a dozen.
Where are they?
They are not here. They are.
Oh, I know
abroad.
they're not here. Where are
Locations.
The Venet Lilacs keep that information very close to the vest. I myself have never been.
They wouldn't tell him.
Gandalf would know.
How are they planning to deal with the deficiency of the golem? She won't have the memories for their clones. Are they retraining each one as they're born? They'll have the muscle memory, but not the knowledge.
There is. They're not creating Gola from Barbarossa's brain matter.
No, I'm talking for her.
Who's her?
Pierre Arjun.
Oh, Piara was just another agent. There is no plans to recycle her, as it were.
That was a mistake. I would have.
We have other Jesuit sisters at our command.
You won't be able to find the additional clones they've made. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if half of them aren't kept on Beni Telex inside the guild houses to as additional material.
Of course. Each generation becomes better and better.
Yes, but I wonder how many generations it will take to get control over them. Because it's obvious they haven't figured that part out yet. You would not have betrayed the Bene Telex were you not flawed.
Correct.
I have robbed you on the time I put him in the room and talk to him and question him. I'll keep it in outside the room so he doesn't think he's that secure in the sash.
The problem is, well, since he's under the truth sayer drug, what implants did they put in you? Are you being tracked?
I have purged myself of all trackers
That you know of.
that I am aware of, yes. I am at your disposal if you would like to search me more thoroughly.
The only true way to search you would be for me to cut you open. And that kind of eliminates you as an information source, doesn't it?
It is the double-edged sword that we live by.
Reverend Mother, you have any questions you'd like to ask him? I'm not going to say he can't resist the truth drug,
Oh, but I can tell if he does.
but it at least makes it more difficult for him. His training can make it difficult for some drugs to work on him.
Yeah. And Antares will take a step toward him and say, yeah, believe me, you don't want to lie next to her.
He shakes his head. I am fully aware of what a Reverend Mother is capable of.
Perhaps.
I have a question. What do you know about, you seem to know a lot about a lot of things. What do you know about the sister of the attempt on my life that was made by a sister of the Bene Gesserit just a few days ago? Who ordered it?
That
Why
was
that happened?
a first answer that was not under my control. Unfortunately, there are more than 2 houses that have taken an interest in unseating Galloway, and one of them
More than 2 houses?
has the pocket of the Emperor at its disposal.
More than 2 houses, you say? Which ones?
I could tell you this for a fact that I know. It is House Albonite and House Ordos has taken it upon themselves to ask for a war of assassins on House Galloway.
You might as well tell him about his own house involved. He knows
Quick
already.
confirmation, House Albernite, also known as the house where House Valyria was pledged in the past.
It is the great house that your minor house is beholden to.
But that still doesn't make sense. Why would they attempt on a life of an ally?
Cover.
You're a pawn.
This is the truth. From what I know, the Duke of your house came into this war willingly.
Willingly?
What better way? You get killed. Your house
Your sister
blames
gets
Galloway.
killed.
Your sister gets killed. Galloway is blamed. Galloway's indiscretion with the Emperor's family is blamed. Your house
Has
honor bound.
reason for vengeance.
Honor bound for Can Lee. Not just a war of assassins, but the full breadth of it all.
It is a bold move by your Duke to try to earn the Great House positions that Galloway has been given.
An utter betrayal to his family.
This is the chess game.
What is one member of the house weighed against the entire house itself?
I remember the lesson. It to me, still learning it. I don't know how you.
That wasn't for you. That was for him.
Oh.
He still thinks he can salvage or otherwise bring his house to his aid.
The chances of a civil unrest with House Valeria are slim, but they are on my radar. It is an option, but it's a long shot option.
My real question. What help do you think we can give you? I'm still inclined to kill you.
You and I share a biometric scan, Hakeem. That means that we can be in two places at the same time. We can confuse Gandalf. We can activate two of the Gola transports at the same time. We can unleash chaos on the Arakin Plateau, and we can try to stave off the Harkonnen advance, the Vanguard.
What do you want from me or what was my siege?
I do not require anything from you.
Interesting. And yet you are willing to go further into the desert to find us? Just for Hakeem?
Yes. The three of you are inconsequential. The one that holds the most power is Hakeem. Secondly, it is the Reverend Mother. And then the two of you are, and he points to Thera and Antares. As far as I have deduced, are dead weight to the two of them.
Interesting.
You could ask Hakeem himself. He would tell you that.
I need not to ask Hakeem. I can understand the weight of words. You savages really don't understand us. And it is a pity, because we really would have worked so well together. But your dumbhead minds consider us nothing more than the Mohadib in the desert. And yet we survived, and you do not know our numbers. How dense are you really that we wouldn't strike a deal to save our own lives? Inconsequential, Aunt? I'll throw you into the sands. See if you can deal with a Shahalut then.
So how did you get hurt? You still haven't answered that question.
I fought Piara June when she wanted to set up a trap. I told her that there is no way that you would have come this way, regardless of what ploy she had planned. And when she made it clear that she was out to kill you, I struck at her.
And how did you remove the implants that allowed you to be tracked?
I pulled those out of me some time ago. That was not a recent issue.
You do realize I just cut down all of my debt, and my father included, which she had been studying my family for some time, and yet you just arrived to the siege, or have you been here for more than just a day?
I have been here for perhaps a little over a day. I crashed close to morning.
So where did the pilot go?
I was the pilot.
You were in the canister. Then how did you fight Piara?
I used the self-defense mechanisms aboard the Omnithopter. I tried to eject her into the sand, but she is wily and difficult to deal with.
Was. I found her no trouble.
Was.
And he can definitely read the threat from her.
My judgment in this matter is compromised. I know this. So I will defer to the Reverend Mother's judgment, whether you live or die.
End him. He's a distraction.
If you're going to save your life, you better convince her, otherwise I'm going to cut you down here.
My purpose here was just to ensure that the truth got to you so that you could go forward with all the information. I'm prepared to die. This is, and he looks down at his wound. This was where I was going to end anyway.
Yes, it is fatal.
I'm pulling my blade.
No. She'll pull from her side a crysknife. She will hand it to him. My father and my mother deserve retribution.
I will not use your blade to do it. If your blade is to get blood, you will do it.
Fine, I'll do it. And she will.
He does not resist. It is a crysknife. It is made from the teeth of Shai Hulud, and there is no shield. There is no force resistance. The blade finds the meat inviting. It splits it easily and cuts into him a deep, deep gash, and he keeps his eyes on Hakeem the whole time. He just nods.
Now watch him die.
She does it quick, almost efficiently, like she's done this many times before.
And he collapses onto the ground, still trying to keep eye contact with Hakeem the whole time.
Welcome.
Goodbye, Aunt.
Remote welcome, Thara. You've taken the first step into being a killer.
This
a
is not the
warrior.
first life I've taken
No.
like this.
You are becoming a killer. That's what you'll need to survive.
Fine. Though, the end, I believe, speaks some truth. You two do have weight, but I already know my purpose.
Akin, what did the log on the Ornithopter say? Where has it been?
Was that in the log?
He was, yeah, it was still open.
Mm.
It has been to the Arakeen Plateau. It has been to 4 known sieges, including this one. And it's been to a point on the western edge of the plateau as well as the eastern edge of the plateau. Looks like he was looking for something.
What are on these edges, Thara, of the plateau?
Mostly former sieges before the original house came through. Those have been all closed up. We've made more tunnels, as well as different places to, shall we say, hide for a bit if sandstorms come through. Also, and that part and over here, there's more of a pathway, like what you call, one person uses highway, where we would take the sons and ride the worms closer to you.
Ooh.
To be able to travel.
That is useful.
Yes, but if he
Thought
was
you.
looking,
What is there?
Couldn't.
I wonder if that's where they've been storing their little
I can
army.
get you into the old ones.
Yes.
Those are closed up, but still.
I can fly this. I've
That-
taken the liberty of removing the antenna. It won't be transmitting that I am flying.
Then let's go.
And on that note,
I'm going to search him, before we go. I want to make sure he has nothing
Get all
on
his
him.
shit.
Loot!
Loot!
This is a good point. to
If
go
we
to
kill
break.
them, we can loot their stuff.
Correct. You sure
Oh
can.
yeah.
But yeah, you can search him, and I'll tell you what you get over the break.
Okay. So we will be back in 10 minutes, everybody. Please enjoy the break as the twists and turns continue. See you in 10 minutes.
Ooh boy, welcome back to a truth-filled episode of Dune. Before the break, we got to see a little bit of some information being dropped as the group got to meet face-to-face with Aguri Biles, the Bene Tleilax's master and trainer of Mentats, who revealed that he himself was a survivor of the cloning process and that Keen represents the second generation of the same cloning process, that they have taken upon themselves to try to beat the Bene Gesserit at creating a perfect human. So we'll see how that turns out in a couple thousand years. But we left off with the Reverend Mother ordering the execution of Aguri Biles, as he was going to become a distraction more than an actual piece on the board. And as such, you are left with a broken down ornithopter that needs to be repaired, a dead Bene Tleilax master, and the rest of the evening as the moon is now 4/5 of the way in its journey and heralding the morning to come soon. How would you like to finish your evening? Or are you even going to finish the evening or keep pushing forward?
I've got to finish repairing this thing so it's not broken down anymore.
Tyrus will
will
help as much as he can.
Sure.
will drop that body down in the hole right on top of Para and be like, though she will make dinner. I'm sure there's still food in the siege that was hidden, and she will cook it, and she will make sure the Reverend Mother watches her, because she can then verify I have put nothing into the food and that it is viable and good.
She is also observing it to learn their meal preparations.
And Tara will walk her through everything.
So everybody has their set jobs. It is an interesting situation. The meme that comes to mind is a manager asking an employee how long something would take, and the employee saying hour and a half, and then having the manager ask how long would it take with me helping you, and it goes, well, 3 hours. That's what it's like having Antares help you.
But I use the
Really?
Scotty method of engineering. I tell you it's going to take me 2 days, so that when I get it done in less than that, I'm the miracle worker.
You're a miracle worker. Yeah, that's how you do it. Overestimate, underdeliver. So by the time the dinner's finished, you still have some work to do. It's been a lot of pointing out different parts, pointing out different tools. It's clear that Antares's history with an ornithopter is more of riding coach than being in the engine.
Really? Even though I have a personal one?
You also have a house at your discretion. You're the Earl. So it would be easy to assume that you have a group of mechanics that handle the repairs and the day-to-day
Fair.
maintenance.
At some point, I tell him to twist these two wires together so that he gets shocked as he's doing it. You know.
Jump! Oh yeah, and by the way, all through the while when we are not passing along information, Antares is complaining about his brother.
There are a couple times that you can hear static as it sounds like there's a wideband search for any communication devices, but because you have disabled it, there is no ping back. But you do hear that somebody is searching. But you do have the option of everyone being able to talk to each other at dinner, so I open up that scene to you. I'll break down your momentum to 3.
Hakeem is rather withdrawn because he's been, hit with a rather big whopper that he's still analyzing.
Well, this is how you're supposed to have proper Moadi soup. However, I promise that it's tasting a lot better and will not get you sick.
Oh, thank you.
I observed and assisted. It is good.
The bread I just made, the water you have, I do have, I don't know what you guys consider dessert, but I do have a candied dry vegetables that we have. Things.
Antares will cut her line and put his hand on her arm like this, and say, "Hey, anything you did, I am sure it's gonna taste delicious. Thank you."
Try. You're welcome, but try it first. I admit I'm not the best cook in the siege. Mother was much better. I would bring the things home and she would normally cook it, but she would make me stand at the pot saying, one day I will have to do it for my family. So here you are. May you survive.
Okay, he will try some. Hey, this is good.
Oh, good, you didn't die.
No, I didn't. This is so good. Oh my god. And I will take a second bite.
Is Mohebdib. Now what you do is with that, take a piece of the bread, scoop up, and then eat. This is how we live. This would have everyone here in the siege sitting here for dinner.
And as she describes it, it's almost like all of you can see the specters of the Fremen. The mother, the father, the ones that were killed, the ones that you never met. The whole Fremen siege full, sitting in the common room. Lights, shadows dancing off the walls, laughter, music. All of that missing here, as it's just the 4 of you.
Well, keep eating. I will. I can get the dinner.
I place my arm on the back of her shoulder and say, "They honor you."
Who does?
Did you not see them?
See what?
Your fallen. They congregated here around you.
Around me? Just a simple warrior. Mother and father did far more than I could ever do.
Yes, but you are their survivor.
So much for survivor. That
what is the only thing you can do on this whole planet? Survive.
Oh, Mother would give you a list of a lot more than that.
But no, that is the goal. Survival. And you have. And you will carry on the line of this siege. They honor you.
Thank you, and until I pass, I'm all that's left.
You will not be for long.
Oh, great. What, are you going to mold a man out of sand for me?
Don't put it past me.
Okay.
They say I am a witch.
No, you're a Sayadina. This is different. I find it interesting. Yes, I will have to join at some point and have children and all of that craziness. But mother used to be able to see things. So with the older Sayadina, they had visions.
Yes, I get them. Here on this planet.
Oh Lord. Hopefully they're good. Mom would have to sit down and take a moment. It come like a rush of wind.
I can bear it. I can bear it.
I mean, I could feel it. I knew she was having one.
Really?
I couldn't see. No.
Mm.
No, I don't have that. I was more efficient as a scout than a warrior. It was easier that way. She wanted
Do you
me to
know, with my training, I am all of the above.
That I believe is true, yes. But you do the voice like Mama did. The commanding voice.
Your mother could do that as well.
She did a voice where it was very powerful, and well, you don't listen to the voice. You listened, no matter what. This could be just being
because it just been your mother's voice.
But she said stuff, and everyone would stop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and by the way, sorry. Is there a way to defend against that? Because that's been done to me a couple of times now, and it's very not pleasant.
Honestly, it takes a long time of training. It is part of the training to know how to use it, to also know how to resist it.
Can you teach everyone to do this?
Not everyone.
Who cannot learn?
It is harder for males. They are naturally more impulsive.
This is true.
I see.
No offense, I'm sure you'd be wonderful at the voice.
I did not say it is impossible, but it is much harder. That is why we test.
Yeah.
To see if the men can control themselves.
Yeah, you got to be stopping with all the ladies.
Yes.
That's interesting, I suppose. And how would that test be done?
You saw what I did to the Harkonnen soldier.
Yes, with the metal piece, yes.
The needle.
Mm-hmm.
It would use that as the instrument of motivation. And another device that inflicts excruciating pain.
Oh.
If you flinch, you die.
Oh, okay. That pain, I know this pain.
Oh. I see.
We condition ourselves in the sun that if you fall and in that pain, you have to now stand still until you settle your body before you can then move. Because that causes vibrations.
Yes, I think your people could possibly learn some of our ways.
Better now than ever.
I have complete control over my body.
That's fortunate. Well, then again, doesn't that help you with the water of life and taking the test in that way?
Yes, I can take in poison and transmute it so that it is not poisonous to me.
See, that is a skill we need to have.
I can determine if I am going to conceive a child or not, consciously.
That I have no choice. It happens.
I also can pick the child's gender.
What?
Yes.
How is this possible?
Is this only through training, or there's also genetics involved?
That I cannot tell you.
Here's a question. If you teach some of us some of this, and we send ourselves out into the universe to blend in with other people, to learn, is there a way to put our DNA into other houses so they realize that they are not just their houses, but they are Fremen as well?
You go out into the world already at this point. You will never
me.
be. No, listen. First lesson, learn to listen.
Trying to.
Your people will never be elevated into the house level. You see, house partnerships, even their liaisons, are acts of politics. Baron was not in love. He lusted for the power of bedding, a relation of the Emperor.
All of this, why don't they just stay joined? Is there no honor in joining? Sorry, forgive the Fremen for actually having, what do you call, family values in one way or another.
I
Yeah,
understand, but because of that cultural difference, your people will be used on other planets.
If your people leave this planet,
yeah, unless you
within
came
a
to
decade,
place
you will
like
no longer be Fremen.
Yes.
yes, exactly. That was what I was going to say.
If they
Unless you
survive
came,
off-world, they will be conditioned to survive
Yeah.
off-world.
You will lose what it is to be Fremen. And I'm sorry to explain this to you. If any of your people tried to leave the planet, your blue eyes would give you away almost immediately.
But we'll lose it.
yes, I was going to say that we have a case of that happening. Brenna,
She lost her blue eyes.
And she lost what it was to be Fremen.
She has
exactly,
to relearn it.
exactly.
There has to be a way. I refuse to say that this is an absolute, but we can learn. And then keep it quiet. And she looks right to the Reverend Mother going, by differences of holding tradition.
No.
Quietly.
No. What makes you Fremen is this planet. Remove you from the planet, and you will become just like us. If that is a choice you wish to make.
I dare to say that when Brenna came into Paladis and began her second life, that's what we call when people come to Paladis, she was still a Fremen, heart to heart. But over the years, you kind of lose that. You adapt to where you are. You see? If we, the three of us, started living here with you in another siege that you take us or something like that, give like 10 to 20 years maybe, and we would behave and think like one of yours.
You would.
Just the same. We are a product of our environment. See?
But you don't remember what you were taught with?
Wouldn't matter.
Yes, our principles remain, yes. But some of them, the strongest ones, they remain.
I would
True.
not change much. I have been engineered, cloned, actually, to be what I am. It's your people. You would lose it. Because otherwise, you would all be killed or turned into slaves or subjugated. So you would be forced to, if you left this planet, to adapt to our culture. And you would lose everything. That is a fact.
Depending on the place where you arrive, but in any way, it would be a natural process. It would just happen.
But to get our DNA into your bloodstream, to prove that you are one of us too.
It wouldn't change their
That's a
opinions
strong
of
argument.
your people.
That won't change. Those in power do not care.
Bloodline is secondary. You are either of the house or you are not
Right.
of the house. You would, by definition, be not of the house. Just as I am technically not of the house. I am a servant. I will always be a servant. I will never be elevated in a house. I will never hold real power in the house. Because I am not of a house.
Do you want to be?
No. I was not created for that.
What do you want to be?
No.
No, I said, what do you want to be?
To be what I am.
And that is?
To serve the house that I am part of, but not part of. To serve them in the way I was designed. You see, it is like a sandworm in some ways. The sandworm does what it does not think about it. It is instinct. I have been created with the instinct to serve in the manner that I do.
And are you to be bought and sold, or are you
Yes.
to choose willingly?
I am bought and sold.
He was bought.
I'm asking you now, do you want to be bought and sold, or do you want to choose willingly?
My opinion doesn't matter.
It does to me.
It is.
So wait. Imagine for a second here. Imagine that I go to Paladis, I dethrone my brother, and then I buy you. And then I send you against House Galloway. Would you do it?
If I have been sold by Galloway to your house, I will support your house to my full capacity.
It is what he has been conditioned to do.
Just like I could not tell you that a Guri Biles looked like me. He does not, as far as I can see. Clone or not, he is not the same as me. But that is because that is how I was conditioned. That is how I was created. That is a part of my genetic makeup. You cannot change that. You cannot take that. I serve loyally the house I serve. If the house changes, the loyalties go to the house. Otherwise, no one would buy a Mentat.
Thora, I appreciate your thought process on this. I do. But I will tell you this. If there is ever a true chance of that, it will not be right now. It will be in the future.
I'm just looking for a door to open to have my people walk through.
I understand. Right now, your people need to hide.
They are.
The door will open.
The door will open.
You must first bribe the guild to hide your people so you have a chance. Otherwise, you will be eradicated before they allow you that chance.
Yes.
Then hearken, I'm asking you. I cannot buy you. I can only offer you food and shelter. But if I can have your help in this siege, it would be greatly appreciated.
I can help you only if House Galloway falls. Because even through all of this, my loyalty is still to the house.
I understand. I'm not trying to break your loyalty. I'm asking you out of understanding and friendship in a way that maybe you have not had. And I know that the loyalty to your house is strong. But I ask you out of the understanding of what we've been through. It may not be long you are here, but it is something I'm willing to offer. As well as you and Taris inside Dana, you are both welcome here.
I say this not to scare you, but you must understand. Ultimately, if I have to make a choice between friendship and House Galloway, I will betray every one of you here. It is in my programming. It is what I am. Understand that about me. The Reverend Mother does. She knows where my loyalties lie, and she knows how far it can be pushed. Ultimately, I serve House Galloway until the day I do not any longer. If Galloway falls and I am not bought by another, we can have that discussion then.
And let me guess, you will not, if I ask you right now, how do we stop you? If that comes to happen, you will not say it, or you will say you can't, right?
No, you will have to kill me. But you
Don't
will have
worry,
to
I
kill me
will.
in a way that I do not expect it. Because if I feel you're going to kill me in that instance, I will strike first.
Let us table this conversation for now. We are still at eating dinner.
It's
You
just
are all-
important, Thara, to you to understand what I am.
I know what you are. But you may not realize what I know of you and what you think of yourself. And I understand and respect your words. I am not going to mince them. I would not change your loyalties. I just know that as long as you are here because you can, and you are serving your house as they would will it. Correct?
That is correct.
And at any moment, we will have to turn around and defend ourselves against you if they deem us dead. Correct?
That is correct as well.
Well, then, in the interest of us having a decent place of neutrality, please eat. I want to make sure that at least you survive my cooking too. Just one bite.
Della has finished her meal, and she's
Yeah.
actually going to walk out the back of the siege to just run her hand along the sand for a few minutes.
There is a heavy scent of cinnamon. It hits the back of your throat. It's so heavy. And there's a moment as the sun is starting to creep up over the horizon and the moon is creeping ever so slowly into its hiding place during the day. The swirl comes and you're brought back to the opulence. You're brought back to Carino. And you can see that you're in the room with your daughter and the Reverend Mother that trained you. And it looks like they're in a heated conversation. And there's a moment
I'm going to
where-
push into that Reverend Mother's other memory to eavesdrop.
Okay. That is going to be difficult.
Uh-huh.
And I will definitely use
Some threat for that?
some threat.
I'm
push
going to
that.
use some momentum for that.
Okay. So you're looking at a difficulty 5.
All right.
You have 3 momentum, so you could buy 2 dice.
I'm going to use it all. We're going to buy 2 dice. Yep. I will use...
So whether it be communicate or understand.
I am going to use communicate with also my focus of neurolinguistics, because I will be able to not only hear but feel the vibration of her vocal cords with what she's saying. And then I will use faith for that because she gave birth to her daughter to eventually lead to the savior that will come to this planet.
So you don't think it's duty?
You know what? Let's do duty. Let's do it.
Okay. So that's going to be a target number 14. You got 4 dice.
A 1,
Successes. 4 successes.
a 2, and a
6.
3.
That's 8 successes. So 5 automatically go to you defeating the difficulty. So you have 3 left over. How do you want to use them?
I am going to use 3 of those to interject myself so my daughter hears my voice coming out of that Reverend Mother.
Okay.
At the right moment. I want to hear what they're saying first.
That'll use 2 of them.
Okay, then the other one can be banked.
Okay. So you push through, you can feel the resistance of this, and as you're pushing through, there's a hand on your shoulder, and there's a hand in your own hand, and you can see the same young boy from before, and he helps to push you through, almost like he's helping to guide you through the miasma of this memory. And you hear your daughter saying, "No, I will not do this, regardless of who commands it." And the Reverend Mother says, "It's beyond your understanding, girl. Things are done for a reason. They have been done for reasons before you, and they will be done long after you." And your daughter looks up, and you can tell that she's trying not to cry, but a single tear does kind of fall. And she says, no, there has to be another way. There has to be. And you see the Reverend Mother use the voice.
At that
to
moment,
sit
I
her
stop.
down.
I will literally stop her from using the voice on my child. And she will hear my voice, and the eyes of the Reverend Mother soften. Daughter, what troubles you?
And she looks at you for a moment, and then she looks in the mirror, and you see that same vision you saw before.
Me reflected in the mirror.
Only it's not the Reverend Mother, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
And
It is
she's
me.
terrified.
It is me. What frightens you?
Mother, they've asked me the impossible.
What is impossible? You are my daughter.
A choice that I cannot live with.
What choice?
The Empire or you. And this is where we'll end today's episode.
Damn it, man. Damn it, man.
Wow.
That is a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
One word.
So, as always, I am honored, privileged, and ecstatic to sit at this table. So I thank you for that opportunity. And thank you all the viewers that have stuck up with us and have been with us from the beginning and have ridden this worm. We are coming up to the end of the season, and I am excited and sad to see how this ends. I turn over the table to you for your outro, sir.
Yep. So, yeah. So next season I'll be Hakeem Ujin. That'll be the 4th generation, right? When they kill me at the end of this one, right? Just saying.
I hope not.
Quagen.
Okay. No, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're gonna make me Quagen. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be a Jedi. That's cool. I'm gonna use the Force on these
Yeah.
bitches.
That's
I'm
fine.
gonna rise my planets. I'm gonna dethrone my brother. I'm gonna buy you. Don't worry. You're safe.
Shit.
You will.
I'm not
You have-
cheap. I'm just saying.
Oh, we have
No,
a
but I
lot
just
of money.
made. Hey, I just bought you dinner.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
but I need cab fare too.
That's fine. We'll get you a sandworm. No worries.
So, as always, everybody, please join us on our Discord. The cast of this show was gotten from our Discord because we cast all of our shows from the Discord. So it's a good place to hang out. We do weekly Zoom hangouts, which this week it's Saturday. After Tiss has done her Call of Cthulhu stream, we will be doing a Zoom hangout with everybody. We did Friday last week. We alternate between Friday and Saturdays for more, a little bit Euro-friendly Saturdays, depending. Of course, we do non-streamed community games every once in a while. I'm thinking I'm going to be scheduling one for September since we've got a lot of open time in September, so it'd be a good time for some community shit. So we can get some more community games going in there. If you want to catch the back episodes, like the back episodes of this channel, you can, of course, watch them here on Twitch. 60 Days is always kept on Twitch, and we do not sub-block any of our videos, so you can always watch the VOD there, or you can pop over to our YouTube, and you can watch all of our back content, which includes a lot of World of Darkness, Dune, Monster Hearts, Bluebeard's Bride, Paranoia, Zasser, There's so much shit you can see on our YouTube channel. But if you want to see some D&D or Call of Cthulhu, pop over to Dr. Tiss's channel, Ishvel. That is where she has all of her back stuff that was streamed on our channel. Let's see. I'm going through everything. If you want to see some amazing content creators, check out our friends. You can catch Thara there. She normally does vampires on Saturdays when she's not in between seasons, and that's at the RPG table. Ravenous Archon, when he's not streaming with us, streams over on his channel, over on Ravenous Archon. So pop over, give them a follow, give them some love over there when they're back on their channel. So good place to go. You want to get some studio merch? Guess what? We got studio merch. Nothing for Dune yet. We just now got over the summer rush where we're finally calming down a little, so we'll have some time to do some stuff like that. So keep an eye out. I'm sure we'll come up with some more merch. And, of course, as always, bits and donations, they go to the players. So bits and donations would go to Thara and Terry's and Ravenous Archon, not to Relin or I. If you want to give something to the studio, you could do that through Twitch subscriptions or KoFi. But the bits and donations, those are for the players, not for us. It is just a way that we give back to the players for the time and effort they put in. We really wish that the studio was profitable enough. Well, sorry, the studio was even profitable so that we could play the players. We would even operate it at a loss to pay the players.
Yes, we would.
Not as much of a loss to pay them now as we're already eating. So we just couldn't do that. So bits and donations is how the players get compensated. And I actually covered everything so I could turn it over to my wife for the schedule.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. God bless. That was a masterful friggin' roll, and holy crap!
And now Will's like, okay, I got to end it here so that next week I can figure out what to tell her because
Yeah. It's like, damn it. All right, so coming up over the next week, join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for Dr. Tiss, because she got her PhD. Running Call of Cthulhu 7E. It is called London Esoteric Society. This group of investigators is investigating suspicious cult stuff and wanting to summon elder things and burning through their luck like it is a barn full of straw on fire. And it's set in Victorian London.
The only thing they're burning faster than their luck is their sanity.
Yes. So join them at 3 p.m. Eastern for that fun little romp there. That's just craziness. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, join us for season 7 finale of Windy City After Dark. That's right. It's the season finale. Y'all, I had bleed. It was so good.
If you have watched Windy City, you will not want to miss the season finale. You will kick yourself if you miss out on what happens this season finale because
Junie,
it is
you
rough.
need to have the alcohol ready. You won't need to be drunk during, but have it ready for the end because the end is going to sucker punch you. And then on Friday, we are back here for Dune, Blood-Soaked Sands, Episode 8. Y'all. I know exactly what Della's going to tell her daughter. I can't wait. 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. We'll see you then.
Yep. And as always, everybody, as we end these shows, please take your mental health seriously. Check in on family, friends, loved ones. Check on people you haven't heard from in a while. Just check to see they're okay, because a lot of people are not. And just a kind voice is what a lot of people need to hear. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, myself included, that's why I say many of us. Sorry, my throat's kind of clogged up all of a sudden. First of all, I want to tell you it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with understanding that you need help once in a while, because you're human and you do need help. Not everybody can be a mentat, okay? People need help once in a while. And if you don't feel you have people in your life you can reach out to, look in chat. There's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you call or text those numbers, you can have somebody on the other end of the line who can help you out. Because trust me, everybody, it's that important. It is a big deal, and it is something you always want to make sure that you take care of, okay? And if you're not in the U.S., because I know we have a number of people who are not in the U.S., you can right now pop over onto the website that's listed in chat, and you can get, the help in your country, because it's that important, everybody. So please take your mental health seriously and make sure you're taking care of yourself. And I'm going to turn it over to my wife for her portion.
I'm McStabber. I'm a registered nurse. I'm one of the nicest mean nurses you're ever going to meet. I want you to go get your COVID vaccines, because hospitals are overrun, nursing homes are overrun, even homeless shelters are overrun at this point. So please, 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 get your COVID vaccines. Also, make sure your other vaccinations are up to date, because polio is definitely making its comeback tour in the U.S. So you want to make sure that's up to date. And then on top of that, when it rolls out in your location, you need to go get that monkeypox vaccine. Monkeypox is not a sexually transmitted illness. It is actually a contact and airborne virus. So if you come into contact with people or surfaces that infected people touched, or sneezed on or coughed on, you can get it. You also can get it from having sneezing or coughing, or anyone just speaking and spitting a little bit. So yeah, you want to be careful. It spreads like chickenpox and smallpox, y'all. So for real, get your vaccine. We pretty much made smallpox obsolete in the developed world because of vaccination. And the vaccination is going to be basically based on the smallpox vaccine. So please go get the vaccine. Okay? Protect yourselves, protect those around you. Oh yeah, and vote blue like lives depend on it, because they actually do. Trump's going to prison, y'all. And hopefully a whole bunch of colluders. So, peace out.
Yep. And I'm not done saying fuck Putin. Please, everybody, fuck Putin. Because he hasn't left, Ukraine, so fuck him. And as I've been saying here lately, everybody, please don't be a Satine Phoenix or Jameson Stone. This TTRPG community and the hobby as a whole does not need abusers. We do not need narcissists. We do not need people acting in bad faith. So please, be a good neighbor. Be like Mr. Rogers. And be good to each other out there, okay? So as the namesake of this amazing channel and these amazing players at this table. And of course, as always, it's, I'm proud to be here with Ravnos Archon, because this is the first game I've got to be a player and subjected to his, torture. So I thank you all for coming, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.